a chance to watch that, I would tell you to share that with your teams. And I'll tell you why you need to share it with your teams. It coming up on an event, whether it's LifeVantage Academy, which is a week from this Saturday, or Elite Academy, there are some really special things coming up for those type of things. And just being able, I don't know why my voice is cracking, but being able to be a part of those things and taking something away from it has been very significant for Lisa and I. And I'm hoping that, okay, she's walking in the door. Awesome.
I'm getting off of here.
Awesome. Okay, you guys can see her walking in. So, stuff off here, honey. So what I was saying was, guys, let me just recap a minute of what Thrive really has been. And guys, I'm not saying this to attract any attention to us. I'm letting you know why we're doing these calls and how much you should push your teams to be on these calls. Lisa and I have put taken a loan and some investment money and put it aside to invest in masterminds. Just going to tell you, we've invested about $30,000, almost $40,000. Okay. And what we're doing is so that we can pour into you guys, so that we can be better business people. We have two businesses that are very thriving right now, our LifeVantage business and then my coaching business. And if you have people that are in your families or in your networks that are struggling with health issues, I don't even want to tell you guys, but my health coaching business has exploded and it's changing. It's making massive impact in guys' lives. I'm in the process of being able to allow women to come in. I'm going to hire 2 coaches. I'm going to hire another guy coach to work with athletes and some other people. But guys, we're making an impact in their physical life, in their emotional life, in their marriages. I spent an hour on the phone with one of my coaching clients today, helping him work through some stuff to regain his marriage back. And he's been married for 25 years, still a young guy, got married, I think, when he was 19. And it was just an encouragement. And anytime you do that, you're going to come against, you guys know me, I'm real. The devil wants to take every person out of their plan, their purpose, their calling, whatever that may be. And some of you have decided to let that happen, whether it's one piece in your life, whether it's overcoming fear. One of the things I talked about just a second ago before I go into what we're going to talk about tonight is when I start tonight, I'm going to play a video, and it's going to be 7 minutes. I pray that you guys will eliminate distractions around you and watch this video. It's going to be on Les Brown, how to tell your story. And guys, if you're not telling your story, whether it's in building relationships with people, I did a video on Cole's mastermind thing today, and I had 20 people add me on Facebook. Guys, this is a long-term journey. You have something very significant in your hands with LifeVantage. People will not know about this for another 18 to 24 to 36 months. And it's because we need to get out of our own way and start telling our story instead of trying to sell our friends. I'm just going to tell you this, the last 90 days, I've enrolled a minimum of 5 customers every month. I have several distributors signing up this month, at least 2, maybe 3 or 4. If not, they'll sign up next month. And every month, I'm getting these activated essentials, 5, 6, 7 people enrolling. And it's all about building relationships. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video from Les Brown. And I want you guys to put in, and I did this earlier today. I want you to, while Lisa was going out doing some ministry, I took some notes and I put into the principles that we taught you last week about what Jim Quick talked about drawing a different side of the page and taking away your own emotions while writing down what you're listening to. Guys, this stuff is very important. I'm telling you, if you guys put this stuff into action, not only will it change your business, it'll change every aspect of your life. It'll change your relationship with your children. It'll change your relationship with your wife, your husband, your kids. the whole 9 yards. I'm telling you, put this stuff into action, and I promise you that it'll be worth it. So I downloaded this video here. So this is a video on telling your story. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk about those 7 principles that I mentioned earlier today, that I believe as you guys listen to these principles, you're going to truly, truly, truly understand why these principles are so significant. And guys, I'm just telling you this. I learned a lot about Les Brown that I really didn't know. It was funny. I thought I knew a lot about him, but I didn't really know as much about him as I thought. I found out that he was actually married to Gladys Knight, who was part of Gladys Knight and the Pips. And he made some mistakes in his life, and he talks about it. He's very open and true about it. And after I show this story on telling your story, I'm going to talk about the 7 principles and the power of storytelling. And Lisa's going to help me a little bit with that, I think. She's smiling at me, so hopefully she will. So let's listen, guys.
Hello, my name is Les Brown. Once again, I want to talk to you about the mindset of the entrepreneur. I want to talk to you about telling your story. See, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to tell your story. Every time that
Sorry. Hey guys, if you haven't muted your lines, please mute your lines down in the left-hand corner. A lot of you guys have not muted yet. Before I go on and play this, I need to kind of get everybody to kind of mute their lines so that, okay, I think I got everybody now because it keeps catching people. Okay, let me get started again.
Speak as an entrepreneur, I have to tell my story. And why?
Sorry, guys.
Business with people they know, like, and trust. So when you tell your story, people get a chance to know you. I was talking to a friend of mine today, and she's going to give a presentation in Jamaica. I said, tell me your story. So she said, well, I was an assistant principal for 25 years. I said, and what do you do now? She said, well, I've retired and I'm refired. I said, what do you mean by that? She said, well, I retired from being an assistant principal, but to me, retirement means fading away. So now I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I teach people how to put together travel packages, I'm a travel agent, and I help people to begin to add more adventure to their lives. I said, very good. And so then she went on to talk about her education. I said, well, first of all, I said, here's what I want you to know. As an entrepreneur, this is what you're doing. You're going to be talking to people to attract customers. I said, let me give you some points about what it is you need to do in order to attract more customers and for people to want to say, I want to do business with you. I says, number one, start off telling them who you are and why you do what you do. And why is this important? Because when people hear you speak as an entrepreneur, when you are presenting yourself, people are asking 3 questions. Who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? So I told Cynthia, I said, Cynthia, if I were you, here's how I would open up. Hello, how many of you have goals you want to achieve? Raise your hands. Very good. Let me share something with you. One of the things that I want you to do right now is think about your goals. I used to be an assistant principal for over 20 years, and I decided after retiring, I was not just going to fade away. I wanted to do something else. And I put together travel groups for people to travel around the world to live their dreams. And now I'm an author, and I'm a speaker. And this is something that I enjoy doing. This is something that turns me on. What turns you on? Because what I want to do is show you how you can begin to see the world on your terms from a perspective that will add more zest to your life. Helen Keller said, life is either a daring adventure or it's boring. And so my husband and I, we are looking for people who want to live a daring
Guys, sorry about that.
life, looking for some adventure. And I said, you got to make it exciting for people and give them an experience. See, as an entrepreneur, we've got to be strategic with our story, and we've got to be experiential. Strategic, what do you mean? Because what we're doing is distract, dispute, and inspire. People already have a mindset about what it is that they want. When you tell your story as an entrepreneur about your product, about your skills or about your business, you're disrupting the story that's already in their head, maybe about somebody else that they're already dealing with, or they're looking at someone else. And so what you want to do is interrupt that story with your story so they don't look anyplace else, so they'll know that you are the one. And through your presentation, you dismantle their belief system and begin to encourage them in the process of your presentation to create a thirst for you, for what it is you do. There's no saying you can take a horse to the water, you can't make it drink. However, through telling your story strategically and experientially, that you will begin to not only expand their minds about the possibilities about what it is you provide, but you create a thirst for what it is that you provide, where they want to. That's what you want to create, the want to, where they want to do business with you. I never forget, I was going to hire a guy to be my CPA, and at the door when he greeted me, he shook my hand, and the way he turned and walked down the hall, he said, "I'm excited about how we're going to take your business to the next level." He had already closed, but we hadn't even pulled out the contract yet. But there was a mindset and a spirit of, "I got you, buddy. You're up in my space right now. I own this space." And so as an entrepreneur, when you tell your story, you want to tell it with confidence. And you want, when you speak, you want to have a level of confidence and competence about what it is that you are speaking on. You want to know your story. You want to know the story about your competition. You want to know the marketplace. So when the person speaks to you, they know this is who you are. You got this. And when you do that, let me share something with you. They'll leave there, as Mother Teresa would say, in the spirit of, "I know I'm in the right place." They'll leave there ready to write a new chapter in their lives with you as their strategic partner, because you're going to take their business to the next level. Your story is important. One of the things that I love most about dealing with technology and Kajabi and telling a story, that what it took me years to do, take you a fraction of that time. Now, getting started, looking for ways in which you can take your game to the next level, being unstoppable and relentless, looking for ways in which you can win, how you can snatch victories from the jaws of defeat, being the kind of person that's always looking for ways in which you can push the envelope on yourself. That's the name of the game today. And this era, what the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's: accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. You got to run just to stand still. If you're serious about winning, you're going to be looking for ways in which you can study and know your customers extremely well, and begin to look at how is it that you can provide the kind of service that make you stand out in their mind. I'm reminded of a woman who became a dominant voice in her industry, and she was asked the question, what is it that you can point to that allowed you to become successful? And she said, "It's not our intention to please our customers or to satisfy our customers. Our intention is to amaze them." See, when you're looking at your customers and looking for ways in which you can amaze them with your story, with your expertise, with your knowledge, with your follow-through, with the quality of the service that you provide, that's how customers vote with their dollars, because of the service that you provide and because of your keeping your word. They did a study to find out, what does customer service mean to the average person? And they said, reliability. Can we count on you? Will you keep your word? Will you operate with integrity? Will you honor your word as yourself? Can we count on you? You have something special. What's the story around your business? What is it about you? When people ask, who are you? What do you have? And why should I care? What is it about you, how you present yourself, that will cause them to say, I want to do business with you. I've been looking for you. You are the answer to my problem. Think about it. You have something special. You have greatness within you. That's my story, and I'm still sticking to it. Hello, my name is Les Brown.
Awesome. Guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I enjoyed it today. I took a lot of notes today when I was watching it. And yes, I'm recording. And so let me just pull up this other screen here. Hold on one second. I will post this so that you guys can have this. I don't know why it keeps going back to Les, but let's get off of it.
He's got more to say.
He's got more to say, obviously. And I found some other videos that I'm going to be posting about Les and some of the things. But Lisa and I Lisa's here with me. She won't get close enough so that I can get both of us in screen. I'm pulling her over. Okay. So one of the things that come closer, please. Okay, there she is. She's closer now. The purpose of, and I'm going to let Lisa talk about this first one, but I love this statement at the top that Les Brown says, how people live their lives is a result of the stories that they believe about themselves. One of the things we really liked about when Lisa and I heard Les is that during his conversations, he constantly used scripture in his statements. And he said, one of our favorite ones is, he says, as a man thinketh, therefore he is. So, and that goes for a woman, a man or woman. As you think, as you see yourself, if you see yourself as a pro one and you see this as a hard business, you're going to be, guys, this month right here, I'm going to tell you guys this, it will determine what you do the rest of the year going into next year. We've learned this, that things are going great this month, but a lot of you have stayed the same, okay? Because people buy into you. If you're not going to events, your team's not going to events. I know that hurts some of your feelings, but it is what it is. And so I'm going to let Lisa talk about number one, the principle of stories is to distract, dispute, and inspire. Go ahead.
So anyways, hi. It's like what he was saying. You tell stories to gain someone's attention. Their mind is wandering off. They're distracted. They're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about other people, whatever it is they're thinking about, picking up the kids. The way you tell your story distracts them from all of that external stuff that's biting for their time. So they need to buy into you. You tell your story to inspire them, to help motivate other people, to challenge what they're thinking about themselves. I can't do this, change the I can't to I can. By telling your story, this is what I've done. I felt this way in the past. I know how you feel. This is how I felt too. This is what I found out about myself. This is what I found out about what we're doing. I never thought I could do network marketing. I thought it was for people who couldn't get real jobs. You've heard that before. But the way you tell your story is, I got into network marketing because it was a vehicle to get out of a real job so that I can go into full-time ministry with my husband. That's our story, And so by telling it in such a way that you've gained their attention, you've distracted them from all of the distractions of the world, you've even kind of disputed their thought process. You've challenged a person to think differently than they've thought about in the past.
And that's good. That's good, because you know why that does that? Because it goes right into principle number 2. If you think about principle number 2, it says stories can be used to take a person on a journey within themselves to places where they can never go by themselves.
Exactly.
And what I like about what we're doing is, this is a family, guys. If you heard stories about, we obviously 90% of people in LifeVantage joined because of the products, right? The reason we've joined Thrive and Billion Dollar Body and doing and Cobb's Media is so that we can teach you guys what we're learning. So we can teach you how to create a brand, how to create a name. And as I said, it doesn't matter what your age is. People will join on these products not because you try to sell them something, but because you tried to build a relationship. And so number 3 says, a master storyteller creates and masters a variety of strategic experimental communication methodologies that give people a vision of themselves beyond their mental conditioning, and their present circumstance. Do you want to comment on that?
So that goes right back to principle number 1 about inspiring them.
It's a one of the things that Lisa and I really took away from Thrive, and if you want to comment on this, you can. If not, it's okay. But was a mindset, a mindset that we're in the room with millionaires. We're in the room with a ton of potential millionaires. And guys, I'll mention this about a friend of ours from church who just lost 60 pounds, right? Struggling financially. Now she sees herself as God sees her. She sees herself as an entrepreneur and helping women. And yesterday she was texting us like crazy before we went to bed because people are starting to ask her, hey, do you coach? Hey, do you do this? Hey, do you do this? And so I'm mentoring her and bringing her in as a coach. And so that we can expand that story. We can expand her story of being a mother who, you know, and one of the stories that Lisa and I really took away from there is one of the stories that people that we really connected with was a guy named PJ Dixon. I just looked at Lisa's notes here because it's above Les Brown's, but PJ probably weighs maybe 60 pounds and he's in a wheelchair. And the impact that he made will probably last in our lives forever. We got to spend time with him. He loves people. He just really wants to make an impact in the lives of other people. And so just remember, guys, as you come on, somebody's line is unmuted. Just mute your line if you can. I'm not sure what that is, but okay, I think I found it. Just mute your lines, guys, as you come on, please. Okay, I think I got it. So, let's go on to number 4. The power of a story is fueled by energy of you. You are behind the words you speak. This energy creates life-changing moments for a listener. I think we probably took between the both of us 40 or 50 pages of notes. Then we took on people's OneDrives and stories and people who made notes, and then we put stuff into action from that type of stuff. So the power of your story is full. So your energy, how positive you are, how encouraging you are,
how passionate you are. Do you have confidence?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of people that we know that I'm just going to use some examples because you guys are going to have these come up, and I know we got about 6 minutes left, and I want to get through this and be on time. But somebody will have a reaction to Protandim. They'll go through a detox, and maybe it'll happen to their family members. It immediately shuts them down. We had one distributor who her first 5 people went through a detox, and she completely quit. Why? Because she wasn't refueling her energy. She wasn't being around people that knew what they were talking about. And she's a health coach. So that's what's most important is that you have to continue to build your belief. The number one thing that you're doing when you're telling stories is you're transferring your belief in what you're talking about. And so as we go down, exactly
into who you are.
Exactly. And then number 5 says the power of story lies in the ability to expand the mind, unlock the heart, and ignite your spirit, soul, and body. You know, we loved it. Les talked about this. You know, renewing your mind, reading a book every 30 minutes every day, and it showed a picture of him reading his Bible. You have to put these things into action. It touched people's hearts. I can't even begin to tell you how much we cried while we were at that event. It was a constant emotional thing. People who went from living in their cars to being on stage, making millions and millions of dollars in their 20s, guys, in their 30s. Okay. The best story, number 6 says the best storytellers allow listeners to develop optimism and hope to live out their imagination instead of locking them in the past with their failure of their fears.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that he said live was a person's opinion does not have to become his story. So as you're getting rejection or you're feeling rejection or you're insecure, unconfident in yourself and who you are, who God's created you to be, that's your opinion. That's someone else's opinion. That is not necessarily truth. It's, obviously it's God's opinion and who he says you are and who he's created you to be. But you don't have to take the opinion of somebody with less knowledge than you and make that part of your story.
Totally.
Reject it.
It totally. And it even says in here, it says, instead of locking them in the past with the failure of your fears, the fears of what people are going to think about you. Oh, Mike's telling me about a network marketing company, or Mike's telling me about something that he's passionate about. When you're making an impact in the lives of people, I'll share this quick story with you. I did a placebo group with a group of 80 men. I ended up narrowing it down to about 45 because people didn't follow through with the parts, and this goes with life. And the guys that were 40, about 30 to 32 of the guys were taking our products, and about 8 to 10 of them weren't. Well, the weight loss was anywhere from 12 to 32 pounds. Guys that lost more than 18 were taking our products, and all the other guys that weren't lost less. Why?
Acceleration.
Because of acceleration. Exactly. Because of their thought process. And then at the end, now I enrolled 8 of those guys, all of those guys on the products, because I taught them what was the purpose of how I got to change my thinking about it, because I could have said no too, but I didn't. So the last one says, the key to becoming a powerful storyteller is to train and accomplished coach who has the expertise in extracting stories, facilitating transformation shifts, creating a thirst for a new life, while at the same time providing value to an audience. Guys, look, I get it. For some of you, that type of stuff is expensive, but I'm telling you, if you're not investing in yourself, besides going to LifeVantage events, I don't even want to show you our calendar. I really do, but I don't, okay? Because I'm going to spend a lot of time in California and a lot of time in Las Vegas, because I'm going to come back and I'm going to invest in you guys. And that's what I'm encouraging you guys to do. Invest in personal development. Invest in stuff that help you. Invest in a coach. I have a lot of people now that have hired me to coach them, right? And I'm taking it as serious as possible. And I'm teaching guys how to, Lisa and I probably put 20 hours into menu plans. I'm doing videos today, and I'm going to do, I've inked an area at the YMCA where I'm going to do live videos. And I haven't told Lisa, but she's going to be videotaping me doing these. So it's going to be kind of cool. So just thought I'd tell you that, honey. You just got home. So we're going to buy a camera and a tripod so she can kind of videotape me doing some of these things. And so it's about you making an investment in yourself to learn how to tell stories. There's videos, 30 minutes of reading. Maybe it's 15 minutes of reading and 15 minutes of watching some videos from Les Brown or Ty Lopez, guys, or Grant Cardone. People, I'll tell you one other thing. We've learned to have multiple streams of income. It's powerful. You guys have been given a gift. So what I'm going to do is if you want to unmute your mic and ask a question, I'm more than happy to do that. Does anybody at all have a question or a comment? They can unmute their mic and make a comment. Anybody at all have a comment or a question? Don't be scared, guys. This is interactive. Just if you have something, let me know. Anybody want to make a comment? Guys, there's 30-some people on here. Don't be shy. Anybody want to comment or ask a question? If you don't, it's okay. We'll stop it. There's usually shy people. We asked a lot of questions. Lisa grabbed Jim Quick when he was at the VIP dinner and asked him about, Alzheimer's.
Is this video on YouTube, Mike?
It is, Michael. It's a great video that you can watch over and over. I told Lisa it's one that I'm going to put in my archive. I'm actually going to add it to my YouTube channel. I'm going to show one next week from Les Brown that I really, really love, that I just found that I'll show you guys. Guys, this guy's great. I mean, he was one of our favorite speakers at the event, just because we relate to a lot of stuff that he relates. But yes, it's on YouTube, and I
The title of his speech or his presentation at Thrive was "Communicate from Your Heart."
yes.
You
And
know?
one of the things he said is, and I said this earlier, and I don't know if you guys heard this, but he said 1 minute of anger affects you for 4 hours. I thought, wow, 1 minute affects you for 4 hours. And then he said, do the multiplication. So if 1 minute affects you for 4 hours, what if you're angry for, an hour
Days.
or 2 days, right? It affects your health. And so he said, expose to be positive, influence daily as many and as much as possible. He said, don't do memorized scripts when you're telling your story. He said, ask questions so you can fit their needs. People want to know that you care about them and find out what their wants, needs, pains, and desires. And he said, give before you ask. Give before you ask. Any comments?
Others.
Anybody want to say anything? There's a lot of people on tonight. Everybody's shy, I guess. Mike, at least you asked for the video. That was nice.
Well, it's great personal development tonight, Michael. I love it.
Great. Yeah, guys, I hope you guys can see how important this has been to us. Lisa and I really we have so much stuff to decipher. Like you guys can see, Lisa's notes. We have pages of notes. We have OneDrives. We have.
Yo.
What's up? Is that the cue?
Thank you, B.
Oh, did you have a question or a comment?
Q-Roo.
Did you have a question or a comment?
I just love seeing you two. And I got a Les Brown book. He was talking about that in his book.
Yeah.
Sweet.
He's absolutely right, though.
Read 30 minutes every day. So anybody else have a question?
I will.
We'll close. Anybody? I'll stop